start changing the way you think from thinking of why is this happening to me, or thinking of this is not going to work, to a thought, to a state of mind of hi, welcome. What an honor to have you on the channel. I believe that in life we are here to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. But in order to do that the best way, we must start with investing in ourselves. I believe in you, and this channel is going to give you tools to help you overcome your challenges and light your path. Let's start. You might think I'm talking about a change in the future. Well, surprise, I'm not. I'm talking about a change that is going to change your life right now if you do the practice. You know, if you don't do the practice, you could stop watching the video right now because it's going to be a waste of your time. When you want to change in life, there's a whole process for change, okay? There's no one big change, there's one big decision. And that decision will start the process of that change. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. But is it worth it? For sure. It's worth it 100%. To be honest, it's worth it more than gold, it's worth it more than silver, more than Bitcoin, whatever you want, it's worth it. For some of you, it's going to be easier. For some of you, it's going to be harder. But when you do the next thing I'm going to talk about and practice it daily, you won't regret it, believe me. I was in the other place and of thinking negative thoughts all the time and what's going to happen if it won't work out. And with time, I realized when I changed my thought, I changed my life. Many times, I'll be thinking about the worst case, how it's going to turn out the worst. And I'll tell myself, I would love to think in the positive way, right? But I always need to have a plan just in case this thing doesn't work and collapse. So let's take a few steps back before we say the excuses of I'm here to help myself. And I'm all for planning, don't get me wrong. But when you change the way you think, and we'll say in a few minutes how you're going to do that, you could literally change your life. Not in 10 years, 9, 20 years, you're going to change it right now. Right now you're going to do the change. And it's going to be a daily practice. And like I said, it's not going to be easy. I was there, I'm still there working on it, and I can tell you it's worth it every second I work on it. You could see this in a few different areas of life. I'll say you can see this in all areas of life. I'll give you two examples. So a few years ago, I was in a challenging time in the business. And everything in every deal that I was looking at, I always thought, okay, what happens when it goes wrong? How am I going to solve it? And things that were already going wrong, I was always afraid that it's going to get even worse. The point was that I was never really in a place of thinking what is going to happen if it actually works out for the best. My head was always thinking about the worst case, every project. So it brought me to a state of mind that it's not that I was in fear or anxiety only when I was thinking about that thought of the business. I was always in a constant thinking mode of fear of what's going to happen, how this is going to fall apart. And you know, it wasn't pleasant. Every minute of the day I was there. Now, I'm a big believer in planning. So what I told myself, I have to plan for the worst, because if the worst comes, what am I going to do? So I was always thinking about the worst situation. And guess what? A lot of times that worst situation actually came. I'm not sure it's because it was supposed to come, maybe because I was actually preparing. It sounds crazy, but maybe I was preparing the ground for that worst situation to come instead of focusing on the solution. You could see it also in relationships. So a lot of times before I go out, I'll think about all of the reasons why this relationship is not going to work. I didn't even meet the girl yet, you know. I'm on my way to meet her. And my mind was always thinking, okay, why is this not going to work? Based on what? Based on my imagination, based on things I heard, but nothing really real. And then when we met after we had the date, also then, okay, why is this not going to work? My head was never in a place of, wow, this was a nice evening. I enjoyed it, I had fun. Or before meeting the girl, saying, okay, well, I'm going out to meet a brand new person I never met before. What a great experience it's going to be. You know, it's a new person. I might discover things I never knew about someone else. I'm going to meet a new person, meet new qualities. Wow, this is going to be great. So, you know, with the time, I realized I'm basically, they're just saying you're shooting yourself in the leg. So also in the business and also in dating, in a lot of different areas of life, I realized that pattern that comes back of thinking about the worst situation. Again, countering it with the thought that I'm doing the best thing for myself because I'm preparing the ground if something will happen. So now I'm ready for it. What I didn't realize was I'm basically preparing the ground only for that. Only for that worst case. Only for that time it's not going to work. And then guess what happens a lot of times? It's not working. So I decided enough of that, and I had 2 rules. Rule number 1, always have a plan. Rule number 2, always adjust the plan to how it is going to work. Why to do it that way? Because when you think in a state of mind of how is this going to work instead of why is this happening, or why is she doing that, or why is that deal not closing, you're kind of stuck, you know. You have, I don't know why it's happening. The fact is it happened. Then I came to a point that I said, you know, enough. You know, I had enough of always thinking about the worst case. And then I just got to a place that I told myself, stop right now. Enough thinking always about the worst case. There's no problem to plan and, you know, always have exit strategies. I'm not talking about a date. I'm talking about business. When you're going to a date, be there, be present. But enough with planning too much for the worst. Okay, have a certain plan. And after you have that plan, expect the best. Plan for the best. How is this going to work? How is this deal going to come through? How is this project going to bring the best return for the investors and for me? So I started thinking of, okay, how is this going to work? And when I thought in the state of mind of how is this going to work, so I also had to come up with a solution. How is it going to work? Now, if it was a girl that I was meeting, a whole different state of mind. Wow, I'm going to meet a new person. It's going to be interesting. And you know, there's always that judge in your head that comes at the end of the date, like why it's not a good reason to continue, or all the things that I didn't connect to. And now I'm in a state of, listen, if we had a nice evening, let's continue. Don't worry, when things need to come up, they'll come up. The main problem is that when we prepare the ground, or when we prepare the situation for the worst outcome, a lot of times we're actually bringing to ourselves that worst outcome. But when we have a basic plan and we have strategies for whatever it is we're doing, we could put them there. But after we put them there, now stop. Now think of, how is this going to work? How am I going to create that thing that I want? So whatever it is you have in life, start changing the way you think from thinking of, why is this happening to me? Or thinking of, this is not going to work, to a thought, to a state of mind of, okay, how is this going to work? It's going to work in a certain way. Okay, so what are the skills, what are the tools that I need in order to get to wherever I want? And start building everything around, how is it going to work? Think in a way that, worst case, it's going to work. Now, I'm sure a lot of you were just now thinking, worst case, it won't work. So no, I was like that. Worst case, it's going to work. Perfect. Don't stop 10 miles before the red light. Now, I'm sure some people are saying now, well, listen, my case is different. I really need to prepare. I have in a few months this big event, and whatever it is you have in life, I need to be prepared for it. So I'm saying, okay, perfect, prepare, but prepare for the best. Have a certain strategy for, you know, if you really want, for if things don't go well, what are you going to do? But have it, think about once and put it aside. That's it. Now prepare for the best. If you drive now and you see a red light a mile ahead, okay? A mile ahead, you see a red light. Are you going to stop now, a mile ahead? First, it's dangerous. Someone might, bump into you in the back. Second, you're not going to get anywhere because you stopped a mile before the light and, you're not moving forward. So why are you stopping? The same thing over here. When we always plan for the worst, we're like someone that is right now driving a car and stopping a mile ahead. There's no reason to stop because you saw a red light a mile ahead. Keep on driving. Keep on going your route, the place you want to go. That's where you're headed. When you get to the light, you'll see what happens. When you get to the bridge, you'll cross it. The light might be red and then you'll need to wait a few seconds, find a solution, and the light might be green and you'll just continue on going and there's no reason to stop. So again, whatever it is you have in life, if you really want, I'm all for it. Prepare a second option. But your main focus should be on what's going to happen if it works, if it goes the way you do want. That's where your focus should be. Not worst case, it won't work. It needs to be worst case, it's going to work. And that's exactly what I want. We're not here only to talk, right? We also want to do something and to improve our lives. So choose one area of life that your mind was in a place of it's not going to work and you're only preparing for the worst. And start thinking differently. Start thinking, okay, how is this going to work? How am I preparing for this to be the best? How am I preparing for this to be successful? Have my mind in a place that this is going to work. This is going to be great. One field. Don't choose too much because you won't do anything. One field, one area in life that you're right now thinking of preparing for the worst. It's not going to work. Take it to a place, prepare for the best, and we're going up. We're going to succeed. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.